and welcome to episode 37 of Let's Talk Tactics. I'm your host, Zach Bro.
And I'm Locke.
And this week we will not be joined by Daniel, so Locke and I are going to hold it down. And I actually, because it was going to be just me and Locke, I remembered someone from work had given me this tea they really wanted me to try, and Locke's a big tea drinker, so I do have my tea to go along with you. I have this organic blood orange herbal tea blend, so we'll see how this is. Let's take the bag out. I don't think about it.
I actually drink a British tea myself. I mean, I've never lived in Britain, but in Britain you put a lot more milk than you do at like the Western type of tea. Mm-hmm. So I put a lot more milk, and
okay.
It's just the type of tea I like to drink.
Yeah, I think we have maybe 2 different brands of British teas. There's like a shop nearby within like 15-20 minute drive that's that is like all kinds of like actual sort of European teas and like fancy stuff. So my girlfriend goes every now and then. Yeah, I should really drink more tea though. I do like it. I just forget to make it sometimes. I'm like, we have a water tower thing that just like pours out whatever temp water you want. So we're just like boil. That's so easy. Anyway, on to the episode. Super aside on that. Yeah, we're gonna run through the news. So last week we talked about what was it? The rest of the class match, right? So
yeah,
kind of took up the entire time. So we got last week's releases such as Dirondo, Schitzel, Marlboro, those sort of things, along with the news this week of Zazan getting his UR global exclusive, or at least should be exclusive release. I'm pretty excited about him. I know that Locke, you made a video. I have not watched it, so I want to get your takes here first. But yeah, I'll be curious to hear what you, because I think I saw that you didn't pull for him, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I'll be curious how we got there. So all right, let's just start. Run through a bunch of the sort of lower end things, at least comparatively. Marlboro Esper gets 25 wind attack. That's pretty cool. It's nice that it's just a nice like other combination of an Esper with an elemental attack. It gets the magic resist, poison resist. Makes sense. It's kind of thematic, I suppose. I kind of like, now that we have sort of I'm not going to say reliable, but a more reliable method of actually getting evocation gauge. This skill is kind of interesting because it can inflict poison, blind, sleep, confuse, and silence, which is just like, can you imagine like even if like 2 or 3 of those hit out of 5, like that's fucking annoying. Have you ever like messed around with the Esper, like equipping the Esper, or have you leveled it at all, left it?
No, I think he's like a level 1 or level 5 or something, like somewhere low. Yeah.
I know that people before we got, was it Fenrir that gives magic resist? I think
Fenrir does give magic resist.
I think before Fenrir released, I knew people who got Marlboro up simply because they wanted an Esper with magic resistance to try to get closer to like null magic after getting buffed. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy. It also has strike attack for some reason. I mean, I guess it's interesting Esper for sure. But honestly, looking at that ability, that might make me want to level it sometime just to mess around with the evocation if I ever have some wind magicite laying around. But moving on to
for the next class match, because it's evocation up.
Oh, so true.
If you're planning, you should do it for that one.
There we go. All right. I was planning on Carbuncle, but might have to do. All right, keep that in the back of my mind. I'll forget about it, but I'll get reminded for sure. All right, moving on to Dirondo. Or Dirondo? Say Dirondo.
Yeah.
Whatever. El Dirondo. His upgrades, he gets a Killing Axe enhancement so that it, in addition to doing the 205 mod with 25 Human Killer, has a chance to inflict Berserk on target and gets an additional 25 Human Killer. That's a big damage mod. That's like a 255, and it's on instant skill. It's not like that charge up thing from Viking, the full body blow, which is 270, but being instant's pretty big. Plus it hits an area of like that little 3, like that line in front of you. So that's interesting. And then the Rebellious Spirit goes from, they still has a 10 defense, still has decreased evasion, increased attack, but also agility up by 20%. So along with I think the Vision card gives like flat agility or something for him, or am I correct about that? Do you know?
I don't remember. Like I've not really looked at it much, so I don't actually remember trying to look at it now.
I feel like I remember being excited about the vision card because I was like, oh my god, it gives him agility. He can actually do stuff. Oh no, it gives move 1. That's what it is. It gives him an extra
Oh,
movement.
interesting. Yeah.
On bestow, which is pretty cool. In addition to like a ton of like, defense penetrations and actual defense and things. So yeah, I wonder if there's a fun niche build with him, but honestly, he's so low on the list right now for me to EX compared to other things that exist that while I do think he has a kind of an interesting and cool kit, especially with the gunner, kind of chaining the Earth missile with like Mustadio, and I think there might have been another unit, but like I remember you could get a big Earth chain. I remember the Mont Stone Throw. That's what it was. Like Mustadio, and they just like these missile chains. But yeah, I mean, any thoughts about him at all, or just kind of a cool to exist?
I've not really done anything with him at all. So I don't like. For me, I took a very brief look at him, and I think his agility was very low, as well as his I think his luck or dexterity. Yeah, luck is at 175 even with his EX, and his agility is 51. So I realized that, I mean, with the move 3, because I didn't realize he had move 4 with this card, but with move 3 I was like, that's really hard to make use of. That's why I decided not to really look at him much. And minus 25 stop resist is going to make him very risky to bring him out.
That is true. Whenever you see
Yeah.
those like brutal like minus 25s or minus 50 resistances
Yeah.
to statuses, it's just so bad. Yeah, no, the full card he gets so 20 flat dex, a little bit of attack, some HP, a little bit of magic for whatever reason. 15% crit, 15 crit rate. Then for Dirondo specifically, 20 defense penetration, 10 flat defense, and 1 movement speed. Or 1 movement. Or I'm sorry. 15. Did I say 15 flat or 10 flat defense?
10 flat.
Okay, it's 15. Sorry.
Okay.
Which is pretty sizable. It's a Leona's Castle, at least half of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then for party effects, it's the critical evasion up for Earth units, and then acquired AP by 30%. So like it gives him some tools, like the defense penetration and movement kind of update him to sort of the newer power level. But like you were saying, with the low agility and the low luck and all that, it's gonna be a tough sell for sure. He doesn't have any like sure hit in his sub jobs or something, so I think it's very thematic, but pass for me for now. Shitzel, so our lightning boy, he gets Hazard Soul, is still the whole 50% attack buff for 10% or HP, but also nullifies Stop, Doom, and Paralyze. Stop being the main one there that interests us for manual PvP. But I mean, if you're against a cheeky Ziza that's trying to doom you, I guess, that would line up occasionally. But for the most part, it's just a stop that you'd be interested in. I kind of wish it cost more TP though, so we get more AP from it. Because right now he's getting like 6 AP because it's only 12 TP. It's kind of brutal. Then his Grim Reaper goes from a 175 to a 210 mod, which is pretty sizable. With a 25% chance to inflict doom. So it's a cool damage upgrade. I wish it would get like, because it went from Grim Reaper to like Doom Scythe, if it was some kind of like line that like swept across by 3 or something, like kind of like a Scythe would go, like a more thematic range instead of just being one space away. Like it's give him a little something. Oh shoot, I'm sorry, we forgot one thing on Dirondo. I forget they get EX25 skills. Completely just went over that. His is okay, so it's kind of like a crush armor, so it's 25 defense break and then 170 damage mod. Shits out though, his is kind of cool. So it's kind of like hazard break with a little less damage. So it only consumes 15% HP to deal 180 mod, but 25% chance to stop. So that's pretty cool, and it's in an AoE from space 3. That is a nice tool to give to a unit that doesn't have crazy range. But again, does it make you interested whatsoever in investing in him at all? Or
I mean, I was always a little bit interested in Schlitzel anyway, just because of his Ranger sub-job. So he has access to Sharpshoot, and, well, that's really the only interesting one there. Maybe Poison Arrow. But, I mean, to really make use of it, you need to give him keys as belts, or it has to be like a CM match. And then, I mean, it might be interesting, but right now, again, like, with blossoms. Actually, I don't have any blossoms anymore. I have used every single last one I have now. So yeah, he's not going to be. I'm not going to be trying to get him for a while.
Yeah, those are truly valuable. He has been kind of that floater unit where there have been multiple periods throughout War of the Visions where we had a slow time. There weren't a lot of units coming out. We had a decent income of materials, and I kind of like gave him a awakening here and an ML or an LB there. He's always interested me for the same reason, because he got sharpshoot, and that being such a big thing in the past. Yeah. Oh yeah, and reflex. Duh. Yeah, the two, the power couple there from Ranger. But yeah, it's a really hard sell again because of these blossoms. Like, I mean, you have to spend a blossom to get that sweet EX25 skill, so it's really tough. Which honestly, I'm okay with it being tough. Again, I'm a big proponent of not everybody needs everything, but obviously we want as much as we can get. So, yeah, I mean, that's all my thoughts on him. I don't think we have too much else to talk about here. His agility's not awful, but it's not great either. All right, so the last unit from last week, we got our first selection quest reward unit in Camilo. So he's a light unit with move 3, jump 4. He's got the Dragoon main job with sniper and pugilist sub job. I really like the combination of damage here because he gets pierce, missile, and strike, which is a really weird combination to simultaneously build against. Like there's ways to do like slash and missile, slash and magic, or magic and one other one. But if you have like strike and pierce, or I guess missile and pierce, there's double resist now, right? Double resist helps with those. So I guess if you're against a Nightblade, that you'll be mitigated. But if you're on pugilist, not so much. Do you have Camilo and all built up, and have you played him at all?
No, I did this quest until I think quest 8, and then quest 9 and 10. I mean, I'm sure I could probably do it, but I probably need to like get my team properly set up, and I was just too lazy. And I'm like, I mean, he's good, but again, I don't have blossoms really to make use of him, and I don't think I'll be doing anything with that 99 right now. So I would probably, like, if I was actually to use him, I would probably want to use him at 120. But he doesn't strike me as something that that is unique in any way, really. I mean, sure, he has the different damage types, I guess. And honestly, I really like the sniper sub job because I mean, I like sniper skills. I like, especially on a sub instead of a main, you also have access to arm shot. Whereas with the main shot, with the main one, you have to give it up because it's usually on the sub, right? So he also gets the barrier break, which is very, very useful as well. The only one he's missing is, I guess, Dispel Spread, which is the other skill that I would typically use. I really like it, but I don't know. With the lack of resources, I'm like, I mean, I can't really afford it. So because I just don't have the blossoms, so I decided not to build them. And it's not, again, like all of these are, even the main jobs and sub jobs, all of them are stuff that we already have. So I could probably do what he can do with other units that I already have anyway. So
yeah, that's fair. I think the only sniper thing he's missing is the move -1 would be nice. He has the agility down, but he does not have the movement.
Oh yeah, he's missing that too.
The movement down 1. So I mean, having barrier break and disables pretty good though. I mean, I'll take it. And it's also whether or not this would be used for his sniper skills. He does get target, so I mean that's a 40% defense pen buff for himself that he could use even on his pierce skills, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, it's like you were saying, it's nothing particularly special. I think it really is like this series of units we're going to get from these selection quests, unless there's one I missed that's really insane. I think they are just kind of, they're key characters in the story, because I think we're going to get Moraga, right, as an Earth unit from these as well. So it's cool that we'll get access to all of these, and that they're quote unquote free, cost you resources, but not your Visior. They definitely feel that way though. Like they don't have limit breaks either, limit bursts. So
yeah, they don't. Weird.
It's like they got the Thancred treatment, except they're not like as premium as Thancred, so I guess he gets to complain a lot more. But yeah, I mean, Camilo also gets an additional 40 defense pen from his Dreadlance Mastery upgrade of the, looks like it's the HP buff from Dragoon, which is interesting. Interesting choice to tack defense pen onto. So yeah, I mean, he's got some merit there. I think having 80% defense pen if he's on sub sniper, sort of innately.
Mhm.
But looks like his EX skill is a magic barrier, 50%, which is good. Especially in the meta right now, anyway. Although he is light, so if you're against Black Rose Helena, there's always that mix-up. Then Bedeviling Dive is a vertical jump upgrade to gives it a little more range, which is nice, and then it can confuse and it's got more damage. So again, cool, but nothing particularly special. I think one of the main selling points is his ability to tank magic damage. So he has the 20% magic resist. He's got 10% missile resist if you for some reason are against like Celia or Garvel, sending you magic-y missile things. And he's got the spirit buff, and then the light party is always relevant. Like if you're doing, especially in like PvE content, it's nice to be able to stack all those buffs together. But yeah, I don't really have anything particularly to say about him. Oh, I guess I should say I haven't even started the selection quest, so I haven't done any. I have no shards for him. I don't have him. It's definitely I will eventually. I just got to get around to playing it. I don't know if you have to manual it or not, but I definitely my light MR units are not quite there because I think Marielle is going to be one of the key units just for her healing and her sort of tanking and support ability, but she's not maxed yet for me. So
I think either Marielle or Elstra, you could probably build your entire like team around either of those. So I don't have Marielle either, but Elstra you could probably do it. And I
okay.
think you have Elstra, right?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah. Once I got her, I went a little ham on the MR shard tickets. Once I finally pulled her, I'm like, all right, fine. And I got like 3 of them or something to finish her off. But yeah, cool unit to have. It might actually okay. I guess here's one note, and then a note about the note. I was gonna say it's nice for newer players, kind of a free build, but then I just realized you need to have all these other units built to even unlock them in the first place. So maybe it's actually not that good for new players. So never mind. Moving on to the apparently he does have blue eyes. Blue eyes white dragon here. It frees us. This Esper and card are awesome. At least in my opinion. I am the ice person. Or not the ice person, but an ice person. It's probably I think I have a higher light mastery just because there's way more light units. But actually like solidly built units, definitely my icebox. Starting with the card, 338 HP is decent. 4 flat defense and then 142 magic. So I'm already thinking, Medina, but like Rosa, Fryevia, units like that. Bestowed 30% magic, which is like putting on the Black Mage passive. Then HP 10% and magic resist 10%. Now these bestows are good, and I definitely, they're good. However, this party effect of 35 ice attack for ice units and then 25% HP for ice units is absurd. And then yes, they have some crit damage on there too. I think it's like 13. But it's the HP and the ice attack that really excite me. Did you pull for this card at all?
No, I didn't pull for it. Yeah, it seems I guess equivalent to like the Bahamut kind of series, like Bahamut is what you would use for like a light magic team. So this is kind of what you would use for that ice magic team, I guess. Now, imagine like Shell with her with this card. Can she actually do some damage? I don't know.
Oh, wait a second. So magic 30, HP magic resist, and then you can see ice attack. Maybe the HP is not going to do much, but 142 flat magic isn't anything to scoff at. And then 30% magic. All right, yeah, might have to try that when I get this card maxed out. I don't have it quite maxed yet. I did pull for it. I felt sort of obligated once I saw the stats on it, just for the amount of ice teams I play.
Like you can use you can put this card on Shell, and then you can put like 2 other like physical attack units, and they would still get the plus 35 ice attack, right? And HP. So I think it's a like you don't like, and I mean you can also put it on like some other card too. Like if you don't have Shell and you're using like Phoebe or something, Phoebe can hold this card. You don't have to have like a So but
look at the HP, defense, and magic, right? Like that's not linked to element. So
exactly, yeah. And yeah, so like it's nice that that the party effect is not either physical or magic. It's everyone that's ice. So that's good.
Right. I just think back to the class match on the what was the roads map with like the two really tall walls, the weird thing like the trench in the middle, and then to go around the sides.
Oh yeah, that one.
That map when I was doing double quick and Oron with Shell and Gilgamesh, I'm like, where was this card? The 35 ice attack would have been amazing, and then of course the HP to like, oh man, this card would have been so good on that team. Oh man, makes me so sad. And we still have yet to get the other like broken ice card that's coming out that gives like the agility and all the other stuff on it too. So, the ice teams. But the Esper itself, so it has like 1300 HP, 15 agility, which is pretty good, especially for. Excuse me. I feel like these Espers, the ones they give high agility to, are typically the ones that look like they might have higher agility. Like the big kind of bulky ones look a lot slower. And this dragon sort of looks kind of big and bulky, but they actually, 15 agility is a fair amount. And then 25% confusion is the resist on there. Oh, fun fact, Daniel sent I don't know if he sent it in the group or if he sent it to me, but apparently if you level your Esper from 0 to 99, like the percentage of the resistance goes up over time. It's not like the vision cards where you have to max it to get the full effect, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the evocation, since we actually have to look at those now, 200% damage. It's in like the shotgun blast too of the set skill called from Kodadama's
horizontal shot.
Oh no, that's from Dual Gunner. Yeah, horizontal shot. Or what's the Kodadama one? Bursting light. Yeah. So that, yes, sort of that shape, 100% hit chance, decreased healing power is pretty cool, and then it has the normal sort of, decrease the resist of enemies, like of what the Esper is. Nothing crazy, just the healing down. I think another Esper has that too. Just kind of a cool tool to have. And then the interesting thing here too is it's a hybrid, so it's an attack and magic Esper both at 84. So even though the vision card sort of leans towards the magic side of things, the Esper is a little more balanced. Again, makes me think of like Rosa. I definitely am excited to stick this thing on Rosa because 25 ice attack, which is sick. And then this is another Esper that gets this flat spirit. So pretty hyped about that. You said you didn't pull for the card at all, so you don't have the Esper either?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Have you seen anybody talk about using it in like the PvP Discord or anything, or any feedback on it? I haven't seen anything specific, but
I haven't either. I think she came out. This one came out last week, right? Let me see. Yeah, 23rd. So. Yes. So yeah, I'm surprised people haven't really talked about it. I would have expected. I thought it was released the same time as Zazan, so obviously everyone's talking about Zazan. But it's been a week. I haven't really heard much. I think people are just like, I will eventually get this at some point, and when I get it, I will build it. Yeah, so that's me anyway. So
I feel that. Yeah, that's actually what I almost did, and I decided I kind of got to go for it. I mean, I still haven't gotten a couple of them though. Like Carbuncle, I was waiting for. I pulled that during my Zazan pulls, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Then like Phoenix, I don't have. And I know there's another Esper gotten semi recently that I did finally get the Thundercat, but yeah, definitely feel the whole save for limited. I guess I have to wait for the Esper kind of feeling. It sucks though because they're always guaranteed. You're just like, it's only 5 steps. You go, you get the Esper, and you're done, and you don't have to max the vision card if you really don't want to. It's so tempting, but can't always get what you want. Any other thoughts on the Esper before we move on to the Spectacles?
No, that's it.
So the Spectacles, silver rimmed, they are. They give, I think the primary one here is the aim version for the 26 accuracy, but in terms of passives, blind resist, very thematic, well done. I'll give a little applause for that one. But then 20 spirit penetration. That's a pretty interesting thing to have. Is the only other source of that the Soul of the Masa? Soul of the Masa magic resist.
That's magic resist, yeah. I think this is the only one. Yep.
Here, let me look up. Just double check myself here. Soul of the Masa. Magic resist pen. Okay. Yeah, so did you build these? Like, how have you felt about them?
I think it's a nice idea. I would definitely like I haven't yet, but I would definitely collect 63 recipes and build it at when I need it. I'm trying not to build stuff that I don't need right now, but
Fair.
I would like to at least collect the recipes for them if I need to build them at some point in the future.
Yeah, and I think unless I missed something, this is the first equipment to be made out of these abominable wings. I noticed we started getting those to drop in the story, and I was wondering what those are for. I guess this might be the first thing if they've been used for. Do you have any idea? Have you seen them elsewhere?
No, I don't think so. I
So I think
haven't. Yeah.
I was say I think in the story we also got those whatever the things are called that build the sword of light or whatever.
That
What are they
new item
called
as
here?
well. Yeah.
Was it glow seeds? So they're diversifying our drops. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I guess we need to eventually. Eventually, every combination of all the different things are going to be used, and gotta have some variety to farm. But definitely, I've been enjoying having just like this stockpile of Void Crysts and Arimontiers and things laying around. But now it's like these fucking wings I don't have any of. But, yeah, so I just touch on real quick the vital version. There's better vital items. I guess if you really want a little extra HP along with your spirit pen, maybe, but I feel like that's got to be like the third or fourth one you made before you get past doing the aim version, because that 26 accuracy is pretty significant, being added on top of the spirit pen. So I definitely think I would make one or two of those first before making any other version. Do you think the other versions are worth anything at all, or just kind of stick with the aim? I know you said you're
Yeah. I
only gonna
think.
farm 63, but if you're gonna do more than one.
Yeah. No, I think aim is the one to go for. I don't think the other ones are very useful. Like for example, crit rate 12. I mean, you probably have another item that's giving you crit anyway, so that probably goes down to 6. So is that really better than accuracy? And the accuracy, I mean, if you have something else that's giving you more accuracy, this goes down to 13, I guess, but that's still pretty sizable
Yeah, that's another
compared
item.
to compared to crit rate of 6. So I think it's a lot better. And the vital one, I mean, that's just basically like 100 extra HP. That's nothing really. So
And
yeah,
that's assuming you get the full amount and it's not being halved by likely whatever else you're wearing in your armor slot.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I definitely think this is a build aim, and then it becomes a question of how many of those would you like to have. I think if you don't have an Alexandrite ring by now, maybe this is a cool thing to pick up and just have in your back pocket as that sort of accuracy option. Obviously, it's not as crazy as the Alexandrite ring for accuracy, but you do get the benefit of some TP and AP and the Spirit Pen, which could be more valuable. Who knows? But I think that actually clears up last week. That was pretty fast compared to how long we go sometimes on these. But I think it's just because I was excited to get into this week. So let's run through the already existing, and then we'll end talking about all about Zazan. So
Sure.
Katone got her EX job. So it's kind of interesting. She came out alongside Zazan. They're both evade Earth units, which I think is no coincidence whatsoever. Her passive is kind of insane. So she on her Shadow Runner, which is the agility and luck passive, she gets acquired AP 50, which is pretty sweet for a unit that you don't always want to have, like just buff, 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 and maybe you don't want to put the bells on her because you have it on somebody else. Especially I've seen people put like the Halloween Rairyuu TMR on Katone to like really get her in there with and be annoying with Drain Force and stuff. But then you get single target resist, which again for an evade unit is super like helpful because things like sharpshoot and holy are both single target, and those are really common ways of taking care of evade units. So I think this is really cool. And then her Utsusemi gets an upgrade for missile and magic resist. Again, same exact thing. Holy, sharpshoot. Those are the main, like magic damage in general, and then missile damage are like the main two I feel like you're scared of as an evade unit. Obviously now there's a lot more AoE sure hits, but that's sort of what the Semi helps with. Then her EX skill is sort of like an alternate Doton, so it's a lot less damage, but it's typeless and has a decrease of single target resist and healing power for the target, 30 and 50 respectively. Did you build? You have Katone maxed, right? Because you have her TMR. Did you EX her?
No, she's at 99. She was one of the units that I really wanted to EX, but she came out alongside Dwayne, and I used my last of their Paradise Blossoms on him. So But
Fair
she was
enough.
one that I was eyeing for a while because, like, from the original ones that I had, like Federica was the one that I was most interested in, and I think Ketone was the second for the URs. So she's definitely up there. I just didn't have the blossoms to go for it.
So she kind of next on your list then? Like when you do have some blossoms, she's gonna go to her.
Yeah, I mean, but there are also things being released, so I don't know, right? Like,
Fair, fair, very fair.
we'll see. But she's definitely like in the top. Like, she's next on the list right now. But if something else pops up that I happen to get before I can
Sure.
get six blossoms, yeah.
Do you think this sort of opens up any other builds for her? Or do you think she's still going to kind of go down the route of either like Hyper Evade or Drain Force?
Well, with that last skill of debilitator, debilitator. Yeah. So that single target resist down, that's really unique, I think, and I don't think we have seen that before. So I think she could also be used as like an evasive unit that can do all these like debuffs before she does like stop, right? She does stop on her ult, and then she has Shadow Bind. But now you can also do like you don't actually have to build it as damage. You can go with Drain Force build HP, and also have her use this first to like combo with someone else that you have that does high
Yep.
damage and one shot. So I think she can like stay behind enemy lines and still be evasive, and obviously like magic resist, missile resist, single target resist, and just be annoying basically. So I think, yeah. So it's not. It's like you don't have to build her to do high damage. And I mean, obviously, if you're going for Drain Force build, you will build HP anyway. But even with just Drain Force, this is giving you a second tool that you can use, and it's only 10 AP. That's crazy.
I was about to say that. Yeah,
What
5
the heck?
casts, 10 AP, range 4, range height 2. Like it's actually a super nicely sort of statted. Like it's not hard to use. You
Yeah,
can just throw it out when you need it, essentially, which is pretty sweet. Now
yeah. If it
it's
had like CT up 50 on self or something, it'd be insane.
right. Yeah, that's you debilitate. Oh, take another turn. Debilitate. Oh, take another turn. Oh man, alongside Mish. Woo. Now, everything goes back to Mish. No, yeah, I agree. She's actually got a really, really nice kit. Adding on to, I think if you go to the index, she's pretty high on the attack too. Where, hold on, where's this? Oh no, never mind. Never mind. I'm thinking of Summer, but gonna talk about in a minute. Never mind. She's not up there at all. She's like number 31. Was it Luck? I feel like she was. Okay, yeah, she's up there with Luck now. Like she's above Venera even.
Mhm.
But that, I mean, she still loses to Balo. So how lucky can you? No, I want to put her along with Balo actually. Let's do this super evade with EX Balo, Zazan, and Kitone. Oh yeah, Mako make it happen, which I'm sure he already has. But yeah, any other thoughts on her besides just like how insane her EX skill is?
No, that's it.
So you said you prioritize Dwayne, so let's talk about him a little bit. You want to do the rundown of his skills you haven't pulled up?
Sure, yeah. So he gets an upgrade to his Knighthood passive. The Knighthood originally gives you a defense of 15, and now it also additionally gives you 10% slash resist and 10% pierce resist. So that's really nice because whenever I play him, I do kind of want him to be a little bit more tanky. Like I use him because he does a lot of damage, but I never really see him go down with one hit. I mean, but this was before Yuna's time, so maybe Yuna can still one shot him. But now this is a passive that I'm usually using anyway. So it's nice that they tacked on extra resistances to it. And then we have the Darkness, which got upgraded. So Darkness originally does a 165 mod. It has a 25% chance to cast Disable, and it is a range 4, height 1, AoE height 1 skill. This is a skill that I've used often as well. It is one of uh, this one and magic infused are usually the attack skills that I use, unless somebody has like very high defenses or something, and I need to use Rising Twilight to decrease his dark resistance. But that now this is also able to break barriers, and that is, I mean,
That's
I really like
crazy.
skills that can break barriers. That's usually what the main job of Nivlu is, honestly. That or like dispel spread, or I guess you can do too many things, or minus one slow. But breaking barriers is a really good skill, and there's so many skills, so many units now that have barriers, um, and so many TMRs that has barriers, including like Black Rose Helena, which a lot of people have. So this is a very nice skill, and it's nice that you break barriers first before doing damage. So I wonder if this breaks. Do you happen to know if it would break a barrier if if it evades? Because it says break barrier
Um,
first before damage.
if it is the way it's written, so I know War of the Visions, they try to order it in the order things happen. So
Yeah.
if it does work in this order, that should, yeah, because it's not tied to dealing damage. So
That's what
that,
I was thinking too.
yeah, they're
It's
pretty good.
crazy. And then his last skill, his job level 25 skill, is called Armor Crusher, and it decreases slash resistance by 25 in 3 turns and does 165 damage. And the nice thing about it is that it is a height 2 skill with a range of 4. I think it's a very good upgrade for him, obviously. I was really excited for him. I thought that, first of all, his defenses are better. So that took care of that with slash resist and pierce. Slash is very, very common to use. And if you're using his card on him, his card is giving him extra 20% pierce resist as well. So that's like 45% pierce resist with like nothing extra. That's insane. And then, breaking barriers. Like barriers is one way that a lot of people have mitigated people's like other units' damage. I would usually have to bring Niblu first to break a barrier and then kill with him. Now I don't need to do that anymore. So I think that's very, very good. He has some innate defense piercing already from his mastery, I believe. His mastery is 20% defense penetration, and then his skill, what is it called? Atonement gives an additional 20%, so he can still bypass high defenses as well. And now if you build slash resist, or I have seen some people build dark resist, he can take care of that as well. So that's why I think he makes like a very good hyper carry, because no matter what you do, he'll still be able to deal damage to you.
Yeah, for sure.
And then now with the Zazan fiasco, and a lot of people probably going to be stacking like auto revives and re-raises and fake deaths, he can remove that. And the nice thing about it, and I did test this, even if you reflex, it will still remove the auto revive. So you can miss.
How many tries did it take for you to reflex your own skill?
The first try.
Oh my god! Of course it did.
So I tried with 2v, and I mean, obviously, had a 0% chance to hit. So I was like, okay, I wonder if it's gonna remove re-raise, and well, she reflexed. I'm like, okay, I guess I would try it again, and then removed. I'm like, okay, sure, let's go with that.
All right, well, that's a fun fact. Holy shit! All right, huh? That's good to know. Yeah, dude, there were so many times I would face for a while I was using Holly and Ryru TMR on the well, and then my Yuna would put re-raise on my Mont, and that was like my team for a little bit in guild battles. Once people started using Dwayne, just like the magic infuse removing the re-raise was so annoying because I completely forgot. It even crossed my mind. I'm like, oh, Dwayne. I'm like, I'm built to beat physical teams. I can handle like the slot 3, whatever, like magic person. Let's go. And then I'm like, oh, magic infuse. Whoops. I'm like, damn, I dodged Gilgamesh, but I forgot about Dwayne. So I think, yeah, he's definitely going to come back in a big way, I think. Especially with how popular Black Rose Talon is. Like, they're going to buff each other up, too. And he's a fine replacement for... I say he's a fine replacement for, like, Titus on those teams. Or, I mean, you could even maybe take off King Mont on a lot of those. I mean, that's for guild battle, but... I think a lot of people will build him because he's good in that content, and then he'll just end up being in manual PvP because he's fantastic. For basically all the reasons you just said. I don't really have any other additional thoughts about it, but just looking to see.
I mean, this is something that's been around before, but the Dragoon standard giving him an additional move, so he can have move 5. I think that's obviously like movement and
casual
jump
move 5, you know,
is what you really want for live PvP. So on a melee unit anyway. Well, yeah, melee with like range 4 or 5. I don't know if that really counts.
I mean, it puts him up to he's Black mages should have more range. So yeah, but he has the move 5, jump 2 with that buff on. It's just so insane. Adding on to now giving him a range 4, height 2 sort of. I mean, he already had magic infused that did that, but having a slash debuff is pretty sweet as well. At least it wasn't like AoE too. Can you imagine they just gave him the slash resist being like a plus AoE? It's so stupid. But I guess the breaking barriers in an AoE with a chance to disable was good enough. But
AoE barrier break. I don't know if we have anything like that. Do we have an AoE barrier break before? I don't think so. I think that was the first one.
Don't think so. Not off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be shocked if I missed it on someone's like EX skill or something. But so no more thoughts on Dwayne?
No.
Let's hop into Fryevia real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not super impressed by her upgrades. So her passive, she did get a slash resist 20% buff on top of her Province of Wind, which is insane. I mean, one of her biggest weaknesses was that she was -5 innately to slash, and slash is just so prominent that it sucked to have that negative. But this at
Mm-hmm.
least puts her up there now, and especially because we are seeing units that have magic slash attacks, it was awkward to have her built to handle magic attack, but not all
Mm-hmm.
magic damage because of the slash sources. But this helps a lot on that end of things, along with her high spirit. So I do like that passive. That's actually the first time I saw that. But her magic barrier, her other upgrade, it gives her hate. Like, it's good for people who play her in auto, but I don't know if it's necessarily what she needed. I think what she needed was a lot more range. Like, she needed some kind of skill like her taunting spell, which she did get in Spellveil Blade, her EX25 skill, but it's only range 3 with an AoE of 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not insane. Like, the increasing defense and spirit's good, but the actual output just, I don't know. It's really tough. I really enjoy using her as a unit. I mean, anybody who, back when we were having tournaments like every couple weeks, I use Fryevia in most of them. I really enjoy her as a unit. I just don't think this is what she needed. I don't know. Do you disagree? Do you think that these are fine buffs for her?
So like I have very limited knowledge of her. I've actually pulled her while pulling for Dwayne a while ago, and then I just didn't build her because so I don't really have much of an interest, and I've only faced her very few times. But what stood out to me during those times that I faced her was that she had like 100% magic resist. So I was like, okay, so she's a very good magic resist tank.
Oh yeah,
And
sure.
then now we have access to all these like magic penetration, right? Like Garvel's TMR, 50% magic resist penetration. So I was like, I don't think I think her usefulness as like the best or whatever magic resist tank is not there anymore. But now with the introduction of the last skill, it gives you 20 spirit, 20 defense, and that stacks, by the way, every time you use it. So it can go up to 60 defense and spirit.
Oh, I did hear somebody say that.
Yeah.
How it doesn't say that here. It just says that in game. Does it say like that it stacks? Kind of like Mont's one buff that he has.
That's what they said, and I've actually asked people in my guild to confirm it as well, and they all said, yeah, that's what it is. So I that's what it is. So I mean, with like a 60 spirit or even like 20 spirit increase, because it probably starts with like some base spirit that you're probably going to build her on, and very high magic resist. I guess
Yeah.
she could still function as a good magic tank, I guess. But
Well, I mean, on top of her barrier too, right? So it goes through multiple layers. Like, she does have the 50% magic barrier on command. She's got the, like you're saying, she can build up spirit, and she has the innate magic resist. So I mean, she's still a fantastic magic tank, I think, even given all the penetrations, because there's so many sources of mitigation, and not obviously barrier literally, but like there's a lot of, I guess, speed bumps in the way for people to get to killing her with magic damage, or magic base damage. But yeah, I guess for manual play, I was looking for some kind of extra range, and the Spellville does do that to some extent. Because I don't like to have her on Spellblade sub, because I want White Mage for full life, shell, protect, all those sort of things. Asuna. I guess maybe that's asking for too much, though. Again, not every unit has to have everything, every tool, so they need some weaknesses, unless you're Nivlu. Being a Spellblade, I guess it makes sense to not have crazy range without committing to that sub job. But yeah, it's just, I guess I wanted something other than hate. Like, hate generation is so good for auto, but it doesn't help us in PvP much unless you're against an auto opponent. So it's just like one of these upgrades just doesn't help her in manual PvP, and I'm super biased to not like that. Yeah, I think it's a good upgrade.
Yeah, she was the only, like, I reviewed all 3 of the units that came out, but except for her, so I only reviewed the 2, I guess. But for her, I'm like, I've not really used her much, so I don't want to say if it's good or bad. But I'm like, I think she's still a good magic tank. Like, that's all I'm gonna say about her, because I don't know. So yeah,
I guess if you can get her AP high enough, so whether if you start the game, you put her magic barrier up just to have it, for later. You throw out a couple of protects and shells while you approach or something. You build up a lot of AP. Then you can drop her LB, which decreases her AP consumption by 40 for 3 turns. And she has Emerald Echo. And then if you use her main job skill, this new Defense Spirit buff thing, like that could be a decent setup, because then you just spam that Spell Veil Blade every turn, even if you can hit the ground, like just to get the buff. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to cost like 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that range AP. 12 or 13, I think. I don't know exactly what the calculation would be, but maybe that could be a cool way to approach and like spam. And it is a 175 mod. I mean, it's a decent amount of damage. That is the one nice thing about a lot of her skills, is they have higher modifications because they're such low range. But like maybe that's good enough. I don't know. I have not really I EX'd her to get her like to 100, but I haven't like bought her shards or anything. We'll see if by the end I feel pressured enough to like use some of my Mog medals to finish her out, but yeah, I really do like her. I just don't know if I can invest right now since I don't even have Dwayne maxed yet. So yeah. Anyway, unless you have any other thoughts, I would like to move on to the Zazan and new vision card release from this week.
Let's go. Move on to Zazan.
Zazan the Unkillable. So he did get a re-raise at his main job, which I knew it was coming, and I it's cool that he got it. It doesn't have a cast time either, so you just click it and it goes. So super thematic. He gets Immortal Spirit in his Paladin sub. Thank you for the flavor and the insaneness that comes along with that. Because I think Sakura's the only unit that can actually remove Immortal Spirit right now, right?
Yep. Yeah, she is.
So that seems pretty good. And then, okay, let's just go down this. So his two passives. He's an evade unit, and his passive gives 12% agility and 12 flat evasion, which is sick. Then his other one gives 40 defense pen and 20% attack. Like, these stats are just so insane. I can't, even if I was playing him not on like an evade build, I was trying to make him a bruiser, I don't know that I would use his other passives. Like, these are just so good. I guess if I needed him to be perfectly tanky, like maybe I give up the agility to get his defense from Holy Knight's protection, but man, those passives are good. But yeah. Going into his main skill, so his first ability is Blade Lash. It's his 10 AP 5 use thing from range 3, height 1, 126. Just a basic slash attack. But it upgrades to decreasing healing power by 40. So 40%, which is pretty useful. Then he gets Hamstring, which is a range 1, not great. Decreases agility by 25% with, again, the low 126 mod. I'm sure it'll find use, but it's not the first thing I'm looking at here. Then you get to Triple Split. This, I'll just go right to the upgrade, because I imagine that if you're building him, you're probably going to the upgrade phase and not just leaving him 99. Increases defense pen by 50% for self, and then deals a triple hit with a mod of 200 after the EX upgrade. And then it has a guaranteed crit from behind. The damage output on this skill, I imagine, I don't have him completely finished yet. He's like broken to 120, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be high. Like, a triple hit auto crit with a 200 mod and defense pen from behind. That's absurd.
And I'm assuming that guaranteed critical hit would actually also be a guaranteed hit if you're attacking from behind, because that's how sneak attack works.
Oh, is that? Oh.
That's what I'm assuming, but I don't know.
That's true. I'll have to test that, actually, to see if it's get like a 2B or something and try to do it. Okay, that's a good point. I'll have to test that. It's only range 2 though, so at least it's somewhat balanced in that sense, but I think the skill's insane. Then there's this re-raise, which is, as you expect, goes 10 to 20% HP regained when you revive. 1 cast, decent amount of TP as well, so it's 32 TP, which is going to give you enough AP to do like 1 or 2 of these skills up here. Now, for the skill that excites me most in his entire kit, Backbreaker. So, again, 200% mod. Sure. Range 1 sucks. However, 50%. So this is 50% before Faith. This is like a Steel Heart. Chance to disable if you attack from behind. This skill alone, like, sold me completely on this unit, because I just imagine a world with Katone's TMR and Quicken just being absurdly annoying, disabling teams, and just shutting people down. Like, this skill I mean, the only aside is I don't really want him on 97 faith, but I feel like I need to have him there so that I have a good chance of disabling even on people without 97 faith. But how
Mhm.
do you feel about the skill? Do you think I'm like way blowing this out, or is this as insane as I'm saying?
I don't know. So I mean, I think it's great. Like, it's a very powerful skill, 50% chance, especially to disable. But I think it might not be as useful just because like so many people are building disable resist now. Like so many units have it, and like I
Mm-hmm.
said, like when what's it Ramu when Ramu's EX came, I was like, there might probably would be cases where I would use Ramu over Bahamut just for that disable resist, you know. So um I don't know how often you'll find units that don't have any disable resist. Like if it's like a
Fair.
Nivlu or something, I'm probably not gonna put disable resist on her. But if King Mont doesn't have disable resist, I would probably try to find a way to give him that because
Yeah.
like I would see disable and stop. I feel are just so common that especially units that are like melee that I want to get in the front, I would always try to find a way to put those two resists on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many units it will come across because I mean I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually like to use the Golem's Bracer. I don't see a lot of people doing that, and the reason I like to do it is because of the disable resist. So maybe it's just me. Maybe a lot of people don't think that way. I mean, I'm not sure. We
It's
have to see, I
25 though,
guess.
right?
It's 25, yeah.
So it's still a coin flip. Like yeah, that even it like balances the skill having that
Yeah,
resist. It's I mean it's still a 48, right? So you
yeah.
still have that 50%, which is what it should have been in the first place. I really hate 50% chances on status effects. Like yes, it makes it more consistent, so it's less random.
Mhm.
Until you leads to 3% feel bad, but it just I don't know. I feel like it's bad. I'm not gonna say bad design. I guess you do have to work for it because it has to be from behind. It's not like Steelheart, which has a range 3, 50% to take a unit away from them.
Yeah.
So it's not quite that insane, but it's attached to such a high damage skill anyway. I don't know. I really feel like I don't know. I'm really excited about this skill. We'll see if I get leveled when I go to actually use it, and people are just like, oh, whoops, this person's immune. Oh, this person's immune. Oh, this person. Are there how many units? Can you do resistances in the index on here?
Uh,
I think you can, right? You can scroll over and see. I just want to see disable resist. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, 666. 1 second. Disable. Okay, it is 50. I was gonna ask how many units have 25 or less than 50 disable resist, and the answer is not many because most of them are just 50 if they have any at all. So just go up the list here. So these are all the units that you can't do this to: Yerma, Stern, Knight of Ruin, Rosa, Ryryu, Sir O, Orlando, Elda, Mustadio, Luel, Liviel, Little Leela, Curry, Ildira, or on 9S Whispered Grace. Okay, so there's a couple, definitely some relevant ones in there, like 9S, Oron, Luel, Little Leela. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not perfect. Why was I thinking Black Rose Helena had this? Or is she immune to stop, right?
I think she's immune to stop. Yeah.
Okay. Fun fact, by the way, Ayaka has 70% stop resist? What? Why she has 70%? That's insane. I guess Katone won't ever stop her. Oh, yeah, Helen knows that. Anyway. Yeah, so, okay. I could definitely see that. But even so, if you have the gear on this 25%, unless you're stacking it with an Esper that gives 25%, there's still that coin flip, and that's insane.
It'll be about 37. I mean, if I like, because I usually put them at 50 faith.
Mhm.
Like a Dwayne or well, Dwayne also has 10, so it'll be even less. But say like King Mont, like I've run King Mont with Defense Bracer before, and I think it's a 37% chance because he has 50 faith, and if you have
Okay.
97 faith, so it just slightly above 1 in 3 chances. But it is still like, I mean, if it procs, it'll be game changing. So
Sure. Okay. Yeah, maybe okay, maybe my excitement was semi overblown, but I'm gonna still do it to people. And then his his EX25 skill is just very clean cut. Range 3 in the line, do 250% mod to whatever poor sucker is in your way. Kingpin Smash. Then his LB is Undying Rampage. It gives him 40% HP and then deals 200% damage in a range of 4 with a height of 1. That is a 40% HP buff. All right, let's think about this for a second. What's his base HP? It's 1166 plus she's got like roughly 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 something.
We'll say 3,100.
3,500. Yeah. 600. It's at
Base?
the bottom, 3,577. No, not base. It's total. That's total with the.
Okay, yeah. So just base.
Okay.
He has 1,900 plus 1160. So we'll just say 3,000. That's a little low, but whatever.
Yeah.
Makes it easy math. 40% of that is like quick math. It's like 1,200 HP, right? That's how math works. Yeah, that's how math works. 1,200 HP. That's a lot of HP to just like get on a buff, right?
But is that a buff though? Because like if you look at the Divine Grace's wording, it says increase max HP and restore HP raised. I assumed that from the wording of the limit burst that it would just it's kind of like Dwayne's H1 where it heals him for something damage that he does, but instead of the damage, this is like 40% of his actual HP.
Wait, does it?
So yeah, if I look at where's Dwayne? Dwayne is.
Wait, hold up. Why does the number say something different now?
What?
Hold up. Okay, so I was on Zazan's page a second ago.
Okay.
And his LB said 40% HP and a 200 damage mod. I just said that, right?
Yeah.
It literally now it says 20% HP and 166 damage mod.
Well, so
wait, what the fuck just happened? Did the site just update because they had the wrong numbers in this 1 minute?
Well, it says 20 to 40% and 165 to 200%. For some reason, it seems like your max is not updating.
Let me try refreshing my page. Here. Okay, now it's back. Now it's back. It says 20 to 40 and then 165 to 200. What the heck just happened? It's so weird. I wish I'd recorded it. Anyway, okay, sorry. So you think it's like a overall health, like max health?
That's what I assumed, and I think it's kind of flavorful too, because like you're expecting him to die and then revive, right? So now with the skill, he can raise like heal a bit of the HP that he lost.
I thought increase HP, but I thought any percent is based on base is what I thought though. Like so, Divine Grace is based on base as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have to test this out. Really
okay, I guess test that too. All right, a couple things to test. And then I guess going into his sub job, like his sub main job, he has an agility of 12% buff with hate down, which is pretty sweet. Mainly for non-manual PvP content, just because of the decreased hate. But the agility buff is pretty good. But then he gets Leaping Slash, which is really cool. So it's a range 3 leap that does damage with a higher % crit chance. And then Ripper is just a nice, I guess, different shape to hit people from one space away, basically. I'm not super excited about it because I'm just going to be on Paladin all the time with Immortal Spirit.
Yeah, I think so. I think most people will be.
And honestly, I think even in auto content, the Taunting Blade with an evasion... Like, so if his evasion gets that high, right, as high as I think it can,
yeah.
Along with Immortal Spirit and Taunting Blade, it's just gonna make him the most annoying fucking tank in the world. He's just gonna take all the hate and then just never get hit. And when he does get hit, he's probably not dead in one shot. Might take 2 or 3 hits to even get the hate down. So he's holding it the whole time. Then he doesn't die, and then he has re-raise, and he's gonna do exactly what he thematically should be doing. And I think it's just such a crazy unit. I guess go over sort of, do you have any thoughts about like why didn't you pull for him? Is it because of resources, or like what was your thought process there? Do you think he has shortcomings, or?
No, I think he's a very good unit. And somebody asked me to make a video recently that I actually made maybe like an hour before this podcast, and he was like, if you could only build one of these 3 units, like Dwayne, Fryevia, or Zazan, who would you build? And I'm like, Zazan. And that's why I made the video. I think he's definitely the best of the 3. I picked Dwayne just because I don't have the resources to build Zazan, and I don't know how much Vizier I would actually spend to like pull him. I mean, I guess as a max because you get him for 200 coins. And with Dwayne, I mean, I already had.
That's after 9-step because the 9-step doesn't count towards that, which sucks.
Yeah, so it's yeah, you have to see if you really want him or not, right? And it's a lot of resources. With Dwayne, I already have I don't know. I didn't need to spend a single Vizier to get Dwayne to 120 because All the shards I was able to buy from the monk shop, and from the shards that you can get from the guild banners and stuff. So that's really what it came out to. I'm like, yeah, I don't, and I mean, as fun as Zazan is going to be, I don't, because like is it really my playstyle? I'm not sure. Like I tried it once before with like Halloween Rairu using his own TMR on him and with Immortal Spirit, kind of the same, but obviously he's not as evasive and doesn't do as much damage. But I don't know. I didn't really like that playstyle as much as like some of the more offensive like styles that I played. So even if I had him, I'm not sure. But maybe I would use him a lot. Maybe I wouldn't. But right now, I just decided to save and just focus on Dwayne. And I think Dwayne, like especially a well-built dark team, even for CM, can counter Zazan. That's what I think. Like if you use Dwayne with Garvel and I guess Phoebe or something, if it's a 220 cost. Again, that Magic Infuse is going to remove his re-raise anyway, regardless if it hits or not. And then you just have to deal with the other Immortal Spirit. And Garval has high. Well, he already has a critical hit. Sorry, not a critical, a guaranteed hit skill, which is an AOE. And I've tested by putting like Alexandrite Ring and a what's it called, a Black Rose Helena VC on Garval, because that's a pretty common setup. I would use in a 220 kind of thing. And if Zazan, well, so I don't have Zazan, so I tested with 2B. And if 2B doesn't use her what is it, like a samurai skill that gives evade, yeah, illusion. If she doesn't use illusion, he has something like a 70% chance to hit. So he would have like a 50% chance with that buff, right? And maybe Zazan, because Zazan does have a higher luck than than 2B. So maybe it might be like 40%, but it's not like 10%, you know, like that's what I'm used to in fighting evasion teams. But now, you know, with a 40% chance, like I think this kind of team could probably deal with it. So that's why I decided to build Dwayne, because I probably enjoy playing a team like that more anyway. So those are the reasons.
Yeah, he's actually tied for the most luck in the game with Shadowlings at 293. And then he is third on attack at 570, below Venera and Shadowlings. It's funny, all the evasion units have like the highest attack as well. That's kind of crazy. And he's like tied for fourth most agility with Katone, or tied for third, sorry, with 69 agility. Nivlu being 71, Gilgamesh 72. This is, I guess, with all the board and everything added in, but
yeah,
very, very solid for sure. I can't wait to see how fast he gets with like fully maxed out. But here's a cool thing that I realized after talking, I think it was with Mako. If you have a mono Earth team, so let's just assume Zazan, Katone, X, whether that X is like Halloween Rairu, which is what I plan to do because of the card we're about to talk about. Or you can do Luel just with some like casual evade, not really gonna dodge much, but the Katone VC obviously gives a 35% luck. It's the one a lot of us use for that, unless you're like exactly what 2B. It has a 35 luck, and there might be some other ones that I'm forgetting, but that can go on, I guess, Katone. He can hold this new vision card, which real quick gives, at least the relevant part, gives him an additional 10% luck. Then Titan gives Earth units 20 flat evasion. So you don't have to use Shiva in order to get that flat evasion in your party ability. So I think it's kind of insane to be able to do like a mono Earth evade like that. Sounds like a really cool idea. I'm definitely going to try it. And that leads us into the Solitary Lion VC, which is 310 HP, 20 AP, 152 attack. Bestowed for any Earth unit that holds it is slash attack 10, defense 5, and then minus crit evasion 5, I'm sure. And then party ability 35 Earth attack. So you can mix and match. You can do slash, you can do magic, you can do missile, whatever you want. And then accuracy 13, which is a nice thing to have. And then slash resistance penetration 35. So
I'm glad it's not limited. Let's just say that.
Yeah, right. It's not limited. Like this card is sick. The slash resist pen along with the earth attack is just such a gigantic load of like just damage for whatever can apply both of those. So again, oh man, excuse me. Good lord. that's why I'm super excited to do with like Halloween Ryu, because specifically he can do his magic scale, so he goes against spirit, but then he gets the slash resist pen, which is something that I don't think he has in his kit, does he? He gets it from Drain Evo. So if you stack with Drain Evo, he's ignoring almost all slash resist, which it's nuts. Oh, and I guess real quick, the bestowed for Zazan, yeah, it's the 10% luck and then 10% magic resist, which also helps with the whole, dying to holy type thing. And another thing that's cool about Zazan, he has 10% magic resist built in. So normally these like really heavy melee units, they have a weakness to magic attack and maybe one other resist. He's positive to slash, missile, and magic. And then he's -5 to strike and -10 to pierce. So he's pretty good across that board. Now sorry, I'm kind of bouncing back here, but his status resists are kind of leave a little to be desired. Again, not everybody can have stop and disable resist, but his is what I think this is paralyze 50%, immobilize 50%, and then he's got 10% disable, so it helps a little bit. But yeah, between this vision card and his kit himself, I don't know, seems pretty sweet. Actually, one downfall though is the fact he uses ninja blades. So that's his weapon. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what is this symbol? I'm like, he uses ninja blades? So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, he kind of, like, started training with the ninjas or whatever in the story and learned, like, their arts or whatever, but it's such a weird... I don't know. I was really hoping he was going to be the first unit that could use 2 weapons, and then you could, like, dual wield in your first and second slot and then have, like, a TMR or something. Some kind of, like, berserker, but it didn't happen. Someday, Gumi. Sorry, my thoughts are all over the place here, but anything you want to add that I've been missing?
Well, I mean, so in general, I mean, I didn't pull for him, but I'm still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next week. So I have been pulling on his skill banners to get those 10 shards a day. And then I've been doing the dailies as well. So I think I'm at like 80 shards or something for him. And then I'll see what happens. Like the $1 a day.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, and also the 60 paid Vizier for 5 shards a day. Yeah, so all those. And I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna at some point before next week pull the 2000 paid Vizier banner for 50 of those coins, because I mean that's gonna disappear, and then if you have 3 or more of those banners, for some reason, then we have the 200 coins, right? So then I might use that because I just don't want to gamble pulling on him and like spend like 20k Vizier or something. So that's what I don't want to do. So if somehow I can get it, then I will see. But that's what I'm waiting for. And also, I mean, you talked about the team build. So I was so somebody again also asked me to come up with like different teams with him, and I was thinking about that Earth team. But I decided specifically with that team where it's like Zazan, Kitona, and whoever I want. I looked at the different Earth units. There's nobody that can kind of really give him an evasion buff. There's also I don't think anybody that can hold Nivlu's TMR. I mean, because I think that's all limited to like archer type units as well. Yep. So with that, I mean, I'm already missing 25 evade. So I thought it would be better if I would just go for like a defensive Zazan instead of an evasion Zazan. So I went with his own, like the card that he came with. I forget what it's called. Solitary Lion. And then I gave him Camilo's card, which is Earth for some reason. I forget what it's called. I have to look it up. Dreams of Heroism, because that gives AoE resist and it increases HP by 13% for everyone in Earth. And then I gave, for Kitone, I gave Odin, because I'm going to build her as a Drain Force build. And Odin increases Drain Force damage, basically, right? So that's the kind of build that I came. Just because I was like, if I really want to do evasion, I would really like them to have the highest evasion possible. Yeah. So I did a second team then with evasion, and I replaced Lowell with Tubi, and I put all the evasion cards, but they were not Earth evasion cards; they were just generic evasion cards. Sure. So I mean, pluses and minuses, right? But those were the builds that I kind of was thinking of with them.
Yeah, I wonder even like I joked about it earlier, but like Balo is an evasive unit, like not like he has low agility, but he dodges some attacks like nobody's business. Yeah, not having the buff is a point that I wasn't thinking about. So I'm looking here to see if there's anybody. There's really nobody with a
samurai.
Yeah, with samurai sub job on Earth, is there? Interesting. I wonder if it'd be worth off elementing somebody. Like, look at jobs here. So Samurai's the only one that has the AoE evade buff, right? Until you go into like TMRs or something.
Yeah, I think so.
think.
I can't remember anyone else.
So what you have, like, yeah, 2B, Lastwell, Whisper, Rob. I used to put like Titus on the team randomly. Sir O, Seymour. So like, I guess there's a couple options here, evasion wise. Maybe like Rob or something, but I guess maybe
I mean,
2B. She's so evasive on her own. Like, she doesn't need the support of everybody.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I was thinking for like a 220 cost CM, like I don't think there's anyone that's like 40 cost or below that has a samurai sub job either. So that also sucks. But I guess you could probably put Nivlu's TMR on Liart, I guess. Maybe that could work. Vadim? Oh, yeah, he does?
He has a samurai sub job, yep.
Oh, okay.
And
so I guess
you
could do that. Nice. Okay, so I guess that could work.
And then, I
yeah,
mean,
that's one way of getting around it.
We're gonna get his EX semi soon, right? I feel like when we talked with, I think it was Sasaki, right? He loves Vadim, and that was quite some time ago at this point. So, I mean, Vadim should be coming. So I remember, like, we talked about in the cast that Vadim didn't have his EX, and like literally the next week, I think, is when Vadim's EX came out in JP. So it's like, oh well, that would have been cool to talk about. But so yeah, maybe that could be it. And you're saying that was because that was with who? The like Zazan Katone?
Yeah, Zazan Katone. So if you put Vadim on there, yeah. So that could work, because then like you're not really bringing Vadim for damage, so you probably don't care that he doesn't get the added effects. So that could work.
I mean, then you get the Steel Heart too, which is a nice thing to have access to on an evade team, like just as like another tool for killing. Yeah, real quick, let me. Oops. I'm gonna see what. Since we're talking about it, we'll talk about when he actually comes up. But Vadim's EX real quick. He just gets hate down on a passive. Oh, he gets
height range 2 on his charm.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, what's the difference here? But okay, yeah. I'm like, it's the same ability. Yeah, no, it's a +1 height, yeah, and then he has a chance to sleep on his other one. But okay. Yeah, any other thoughts on this stuff this week? So whether Zazan or anything else? I mean, I'm probably going to talk more about Zazan in the future after I use him a bit, but right now, these are just sort of my initial thoughts looking at his kit, what I'm imagining. We'll have to see what reality looks like for that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's very strong. I think, especially if you're like a new player that's starting now or started not too long ago, I would definitely recommend getting Zazan, because I think that's a unit that you can use probably in a lot of content. I don't really pull any units now where I'm like, oh, I need this unit for PvE, because you can probably do it with anyone. But I think he's just very strong that you can use him in so many places. And for PvP, yeah, he can, like, if you can't remove him from the board, because even you will definitely at least need Sakura and like either Gilgamesh or Dwayne and some other unit to like actually hit, right? So it's so I think he's definitely a good starter unit. And the nice thing is that his shards are not double cost, so that's good. Although he's a double cost unit.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, by double cost, we just mean he's 100 cost in CMs or something, but and he's kind of higher power level. But yeah, I mean, we really can't call him double cost anymore. It's just like purely different costs, which I like better. Like having everyone cost the same but different, like cost Vizier cost the same, but then have different costs for balancing purposes within the competitive PvP content. Definitely like that. Yeah, I think Dwayne definitely earns his 100 cost now. If anyone had a doubt in the past of his, like, oh, he's not as good as other 100s, like, sure is now. That barrier break's nuts. But I do think that wraps us up for this week. So next week, we'll probably end up talking. I know there's a lot of rumors going around about a potential Fryevia VC. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it as if it's a fact. So maybe we'll have that to talk about. That'd be cool. Maybe it gives her some extra tools or a cool ability or something. But yeah, until then. I've been Zach Bro.
And I've been Locke.
And we'll see you next time.